All right, in this video I'm going to go through the 2.4 introduction. It was my hope that you would first try these, because if you understood what we did in 2.3, you should be able to do these. We're just going from 2 sets to 3 sets. So if you haven't already tried that, you may want to do that first, and then you can check your answers and then watch the video if you need more explanation. So A intersect B, that's what we have here at number 1. Remember, we said intersection is just what 2 sets have in common. So for A intersect B, we're looking for what set A and set B have in common. Let's see, 1, 3, 5, it looks like just 7 and 9 are the only members of both sets. Alright, so that's A intersect B. A union B. Now remember, the idea of union, well, first of all, with the intersection, think and. It's the elements that are in both set A and also in set B. I always say they're the elements they have in common. For union, think of union the way that we use the word or has, or I should say, union has the same meaning as or in mathematics, which means basically these are the elements that are in A, or in B, or in both. So I think of the word combine. We're basically going to combine everything in the 2 sets together. So for A union B, I'm going to write everything from A, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then I'm going to look at B and see if there's anything else I need to add that I don't already have. So we already have the 7 and the 9, but we don't have 11 and 13. And so that would be A union B. All right, on number 3, we read that B complement, or the complement of B, or we can read it B naught or B prime. And that's all the elements that are in the universal set that are not in set B. All right, so, well, let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and start writing down all the elements that are in the universal set until I get to 7, because 7, 9, 11, and 13 are in B. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. We're not going to write those, but we need to include 15. And so 1, 3, 5, and 15. All right, so let's go ahead and do number 4. It says C intersect A union B. Well, basically C, and I'm sorry, I'm really terrible at these braces. So 3, 5, 11, and 15, that's from C. And we're going to intersect that with A union B. Well, we already found A union B. I'm really messing up on my braces here. All right, so let's see. A union B, we said, is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. So what do these 2 sets have in common? We're intersecting. Well, we've got 3, 5, and it looks like just 11. So 3, 5, and 11. Those are the only elements that the 2 sets have in common, or they're elements that are in both sets. All right, let's move on to the last one. We know A intersect B is 7 and 9. Whoops, there I go again with my braces. Let's see, 7 and 9. And so we're going to write everything that's in U, the universal set, that's not in A intersect B. So everything but 7 and 9. So 1, 3, 5. We'll skip 7 and 9, 11, 13, and 15. All right, so let's move on to the next part. All right, so it says refer to the diagram to the right to answer the following questions. Which regions represent set B? Well, let me get some, let's see, I'll use this color. So B, now B would be all of that. that would be everything in region, well, set B is all the regions that are in that set. So we've got 2, 3, 5, and 6. All right, so let me erase that. And let's move on to the next one. So A intersect B, well, let's see, this would be the regions that the two sets have in common. So those are these regions, 2 and 5. So you should have said 2 and 5. Again, I would encourage you to first try these. Whoops. Actually, yeah, 2 and 5. So you might want to try these others if you haven't already before you check the answers that I got. All right, let me erase what we have here. A union C, so we're going to take everything and A and C, combine those all together. That's all of this. All right, so we've got sections 1 and 2 and 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, let's move on to number 9. So let me erase what I just did here. All right, and let's see. Not A. Well, that's everything outside of A, so that's a lot of stuff. So certainly everything in B is not, actually no, that's not true. Not A would be this part of B. Not A would include this part of C. And then of course we would include everything out here. That's region 8. So really, it's everything except sections 1, 2, 4, and 5. So let's go ahead and write those down. So it'd be 3, 6, 7, and 8. I'll just write it like that. So 3, 6, 7, and 8. That looks good. All right, I got to definitely do some erasing here. All right, let's move on to number 10. So A intersect B intersect C. So what do the three sets have in common? Well, I would say that this is the only region right here that's in all three sets. It's in A, it's in B, and it's in C. That would be the only part, the only region where it's the region where everything in that region is in all three sets. So that would be 5. All right, let's look at number 11. Let me erase what I have here. Okay, so let's see. We have A intersect B, and we're going to intersect that with not C. All right, so here I might want to use 2 colors. All right, so first of all, let's do A intersect B. That would be this part here. And we want to know what that has in common, or we're going to intersect that with not C. Now not C would be everything outside of C. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Everything outside of C would be all of that. So what do these two sets have in common? So we have A intersect B, which is in blue, and we have the set that's not C or outside of C. So what do they have in common? Notice that's this area right here. That's where there's overlap. So that would just be 2. Region 2. All right, and then finally we have number 12. Let me erase all of this before we address that one. All right, and whoa, let's see, C, and we're going to intersect that with not A and not B. Well, why don't we first deal with not A and not B? Okay, so not A would be everything, everything outside of A. So that's not A, all the area outside of A. And then we want to do not B, so let me change to another color. So not B would be everything outside of B. So I'm going to shade, let's go ahead and we'll use yellow here. Okay, so we need to find the intersection between not A and not B. So that would be where the regions where we're both green and blue. So let's see. That would be in here. And that would also be outside of the circles, all of this stuff here. All right. So that would be the part that I've shaded in yellow. Whoops, let's hold on just a second. That would be A intersect, or not A intersect not B. So the yellow part. Now C, we want to know what that has in common with C. So actually, that would be this part right here. So that's just going to be 7. So if you got that one, you're doing really well. That one was a little bit tough. All right, and so that's it for this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'll do the remainder of the notes for 2.4 on a separate video. All right.